Dan Savage, a well-known gay rights activist and columnist, decided to scold Bernie Sanders supporters because they had the audacity to point out the fact that Hillary Clinton has a terrible record on LGBT rights. Now, I'll just preface this entire discussion by saying that I'm a big fan of Dan Savage. I have an immense amount of respect for him. He's fought for gay rights. He founded the It Gets Better project, and I think that he's done so much great things for the gay community. But this article is not acceptable. I disagree with it wholeheartedly, so let me tell you why. So Dan states, I'm for Hillary or Bernie, or both Hillary and Bernie, or Bernie and Hillary, and I disagreed with her on marriage equality then, but I am capable of taking yes for a motherfucking answer now. A lot of progressives are slamming Hillary for her past position on marriage equality, and the rather noxious comments she made back then, which, again, are similar to rather noxious comments made by most Dems at the time, including Barack Obama. You're right, so both Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton made similar comments, but there is a significant difference between Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. You see, Barack Obama, he only talked the talk when it comes to homophobia, but he didn't actually walk the walk. Hillary Clinton, on the other hand, she actually did walk the walk. She lobbied for Don't Ask, Don't Tell. She lobbied for DOMA, policies that demonstrably harmed the gay community. Yes, much like Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama had to evolve on the issue, but when he got in office, he made up for it. He pushed to repeal Don't Ask, Don't Tell. He moved the entire party towards the position of marriage equality. He was a leader on that position. What did Hillary Clinton do? Nothing. See, she could have looked at the same public opinion polls we were all looking at and see the ongoing trend that, look, the country is going to be in favor of marriage equality. It's going to be majority pretty soon, and she could have been a leader. She could have spoken out and said, look, you know what? I'm going to run for president in 2016. I got to be a leader on this. So by the time I run, most likely a majority of people will be in favor of marriage equality. Guess what she chose to do? Nothing. So there's a difference between Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. Yes, they had the same position. Yes, they both evolved, but it's a lot more complicated than that. So I'm going to let Dan Savage continue because he wants to now attack straight people. So he says, and you know what? Most of the people I see out there hammering away at this, most of them, not all of them, are straight. Oh, there are queer folks doing it too, but it's mostly straight people, and man, they are losing their patience with queers who support Hillary Clinton. See, this is a neat little trick he's trying to do here. I see it all the time. So he's trying to delegitimize straight supporters of LGBT rights and say, look, you're straight, you're not gay, so you don't get to speak out on LGBT issues. You don't get to speak out on our behalfs. See, I appreciate the fact that you fought for us, with marriage equality and whatnot. You were right there with us, but now that I disagree with you, you have to shut up, straight people. I didn't think I'd ever have to say this, but Dan Savage, did you know that being straight is not a choice? Just like gay people, they are allowed to have their own opinions on issues, and I would encourage them to have their own opinions on issues when it comes to LGBT rights, because they're our allies. They were right there with us. If it wasn't for them and their support, them marching right alongside us, then we wouldn't have marriage equality. We wouldn't have any protections when it comes to anti-discrimination measures by each state and whatnot. Now, we still have a lot of work to do, but I'm sorry, but I'm not going to tell straight people that they can't talk about gay rights issues. I want them to because they're our allies. They're looking out for us and their intentions are good. So why would you try to delegitimize them because you disagree with them? I find that incredibly wrong. But I'm going to get to the crux of his argument. So he says, to those who can't understand why any gay person could possibly support Hillary, we're taking motherfucking yes for a motherfucking answer. It's fucking moronic. It's political malpractice to attack a politician for coming around on your issues. Why should they come around on our issues? Why should they switch sides or change their votes if we're going to go after them hammer and tongs for the positions they used to hold? Please change your mind and support us. No, pretty please? Okay, I've changed my mind and I'll vote to support you. Fuck you for not always agreeing with me. I'm not voting for you. Fuck you some more. Queer people who are doing this, we're fucking ourselves with this shit. Not Clinton. Stop it. Straight people who are doing this, you may be hurting Clinton, but you're also hurting the queers you claim to care so much about. Stop it. See, we're entitled to our opinions. You don't get to police people that you disagree with. You can present your argument, but to say that it's fucking moronic, in your own words, for us to criticize Hillary Clinton, that's wrong. And we shouldn't have to beg people. We shouldn't have to drag their feet to get them to come along with us. You see, they're accountable to us. They're politicians. But if they weren't there with us all along, then maybe they're not really our allies. Maybe we should consider that. Now, the biggest reason why we get to criticize Hillary Clinton is because it's not just because she evolved or that she didn't do anything to fight for us. It's because she's claiming that she's been there all along. She's now touting herself as the civil rights hero. She's taking her endorsement from the Human Rights Campaign, actually their board of directors, as an endorsement from the entire gay community. She's taking it as tacit forgiveness from the entire gay community, absolving her of any homophobic policies that she pushed for. I don't accept that. Sorry. If you're going to be a gay rights ally now, great. But don't try to lie to us and pretend that you were there all along. You know what that's called? That's called pandering. That's what politicians love to do. And for those of us who are pointing it out, we're paying attention. We're not moronic. In fact, we're the smarter ones here. Now, the worst part is that Dan Savage didn't just make this argument. He had to take it a step further and attack Bernie Sanders' gay rights history. And these are all debunked attacks. I've talked about them on my show. So one of the things he said was that Bernie Sanders was not very good on marriage equality. So he supported it as a states' rights issue only, and furthermore, he was against marriage equality in Vermont after they passed civil unions. Now, these claims are bullshit. So when it comes to the states' rights issue, he was in favor of marriage equality as far back as the 80s. Now, the reason why he said it was a states' rights issue was for political expediency. Jane O'Mara Sanders stated that they said this so that way they can try to lure some Republicans who are libertarian and get them on board with the marriage equality decision and get them to stop being so homophobic. So they said that, yes, but it was for very practical reasons. Now, furthermore, what he doesn't tell you about Bernie Sanders saying that he wasn't in favor of marriage equality in Vermont was that they just had a long, hard-fought battle for civil unions. And the reason why he didn't want to push for marriage equality is because they barely got civil unions. So he thought that by trying to push the envelope further, that would undo the progress that they made. But the most important part is that Bernie Sanders was still in favor of marriage equality altogether. He was still in favor of it philosophically. So even though he said he didn't want to push for it politically at that time, he still was there with us. Now, I don't care what Bernie Sanders said. I've made this point before. In the 1980s, he signed a day declaring Gay Rights Pride Day in Burlington, Vermont when he was the mayor. He actually got anti-discrimination legislation for LGBT people codified into law. These things are really, really important, and he almost destroyed his career because of this. City council was after him. They did not like this. Nobody wanted to stand up for us, certainly not straight people, but Bernie Sanders was there all along. So, yeah, we can point to the objective truth that Bernie Sanders is way better than Hillary Clinton, but here's why that's not even what matters. When we bring up the fact that Hillary Clinton is worse than Bernie Sanders on LGBT rights, we're highlighting a continuous trend with Hillary Clinton. See, I'm not a one-issue voter. I'm not going to vote based on gay rights, but here's the thing. Hillary Clinton has always been behind Bernie Sanders. He's always been more progressive than her. He's always been on the right side of every issue. So, for example, she was wrong on the Iraq War. Bernie was right. Gay rights. She was wrong. Bernie was right. The Keystone XL pipeline. He was right first. The Trans-Pacific Partnership. He was right there first. Against it. When it comes to lifting the cap on Social Security, she was just against it in October. And now all of a sudden she's in favor of it. Guess who said it first? Bernie Sanders said it first. So when it comes to issues like legalizing marijuana, the Syrian no-fly zone, universal healthcare now, Bernie Sanders is on the right side and Hillary Clinton is on the wrong side. See, I'm sick and tired of begging Hillary Clinton, of trying to drag her feet towards the direction of progression. Maybe I want a president who's just objectively better. Maybe I feel like I need to point out the fact that voters should know that Hillary Clinton is always wrong first before she gets it right on an issue. So sure, she's a progressive. Yay, kudos to you, you've evolved. Congratulations, Hillary Clinton. When are you actually going to be right the first time around? Has that ever happened? I just want to know, when is Hillary Clinton going to get it right the first time? So I reject this smug, pretentious article, because Dan Savage, I'm guessing that he's upper middle class at a minimum, so he doesn't know what it's like to actually really have to search for these discernible differences between candidates. See, Hillary's in favor of a $12 minimum wage, Bernie's in favor of a $15 minimum wage. When you are barely getting by, that $3 is life-changing. When you are underinsured and if you get sick, you have to pay a $5,000 deductible and you're worried about that, universal healthcare can literally save your life. If you are struggling to put your kids through college and you're saving every penny, college free tuition can change your life. So no, I reject the claim that Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton are very similar. They are different enough to where it would be life-changing. And even if Bernie Sanders gets in and he has a Republican Congress that doesn't want to work with him, at least he's pushing the envelope. He's moving the party in the right direction, just like Obama did with marriage equality. Do you think any Democrat would have the spine to come out and support marriage equality If Obama didn't do it, no way. So we need a true progressive. Sorry, but Hillary Clinton, not a true progressive. So I reject this article. I disagree wholeheartedly with it.
Thanks for watching the Humanist Report. Don't forget to subscribe and check us out at humanistreport.com.